Hey there YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to Horticulture Geek. I'm Ray and I'm glad you're here today. Today, as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be giving you a garden tour. So I wanted to do kind of a quick garden tour, and I've got some bonus footage to start the video off with. I filmed myself planting the last of my Gilbert H. Wild order, and I planted some stuff in the shade garden as well that I had picked up. So I'm gonna roll that footage first, and then we're gonna lead right into a walk around the garden. I'm gonna point out some things as we go through the garden, kind of tell you what all I've got out here. I probably won't tell you everything, but if you see something and you're like, ooh, what's that? Put it in the comments below. If you see something and you're like, hey, tell me more about that plant, put it in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer any questions I can. But for now, sit back, relax, watch me do some yard work, and then get a quick tour of the garden. I hope you enjoy it. All right, we are in the garden in front of the white clematis right here. And I have popped in the Harvest Moon poppy, the Central Park poppy, and the Carnival poppy here. And I just threw a verbena in to fill in around. And there were actually two Harvest Moons, so there's one here and one here. They put a surprise one in that bag. All right here in front of the bird bath, amongst the clearance poppies that I picked up at Lowe's, I planted the Miss Perry poppy. So it is planted right here. And the other ones I planted are right over there. So all these are the drift of poppies. All right, so crepe myrtle. I'm planting a hardy geranium here. A hardy geranium here. This is the bee balm. This is the green twister cone. No, I forgot that. And that's the hardy geranium there. I got to remember what that is. I have to look back at the video. All right, guys, I did it again. I went to Lowe's and they had stuff on the clearance rack. So today I found, this is a Japanese holly fern. It's perfect for the shade garden. As y'all know, I'm working on my shade garden area back behind me. They had 3 of these on the clearance rack for $3, normally $7.98. So I figured, why not grab those? They also had purple wave petunias on sale for $1 a pot. So I got 8 of those. That was all really the good stuff they had on the clearance rack today. I got a few other things there, but just odds and ends that I needed. So here's where they're gonna live. I've got one there, one here in between these hydrangeas, and one there in between those hydrangeas. And that's where we put the big hostas back there. And here's the rest of the stuff. And I did pick up another hosta for there. That basket is because I have 2 hostas coming in, and our little backyard friend kept trampling them, so I had to cover them up. But the shade area is coming together, so I'm gonna get these planted. All right, so I got those planted. So now it's just time to water them in and move on to the next project as usual. All right, guys, I've got a few more things planted in the yard, but the yard is looking really good. Ignore the pool. It's just been open for like 3 days at this point. So I'm not sure when you'll see this video, but it's already clearing a lot. It was almost black green when I first opened it, because if you've watched my other video, you'll know that I was a little bit lazy when I closed it and didn't put enough winter chemicals in it. But that's okay. It'll be beautiful, sparkly, crystal clear before you know it. But we're fixing to get a huge rainstorm for the next few days. And I wanted to do a quick garden tour before that hit, because it's gonna knock blooms off of stuff, and everything's looking really pretty right now. So I'm gonna flip this camera around. You just saw me plant some shade stuff. And I'm gonna flip this camera around and just give you a quick walkthrough of the garden. So here we go. All right, so here's just a general sweeping overview. So just ignore the mess. All right, let's start in right here. So we've got strawberries. You can see lined up along the wall here is stuff that I still have to plant. So these things are going in containers. It's a daylily, this massive daylily. This old little fountain turned into a planter. I've got a geranium in the top of it. This is my asparagus patch. I've pruned it back already once this spring to encourage it to flush back out. And I have fertilized it very heavily because asparagus like lots of food. So hopefully that'll give us a good crop. Remember, guys, I do small scale gardening, but this right here is where the Brussels sprouts were, and the okra is going to go there. I've got to plant okra, but I'm waiting until after this 3-day rain monsoon to get that done. And over there, sorry for the mess on my porch, guys, but I've actually got tomatoes and peppers and squash and a bunch of other things that'll go in after this rain is over, because I don't want everything to get drowned and all that dirty, splashy, muddy water ruining everything and getting mildewed. So I'm waiting until after the rain to plant that stuff. Cabbages, lettuce, spinach. I'm not quite sure what's gonna go here. I'm still thinking about that. That's that green twister coneflower is right there. A big lamb's ear. That is a lemon thyme. Yes, it is a lemon thyme. So you can use it just like regular thyme. It just has a citrusy kick to it, and it is wonderful. I love it. It's really good. Okay, now this is new. Y'all haven't seen this. This is my daughter's fairy garden. She just came out here. I let her pick some plants out. So we've got a creeping Jenny here that'll creep over the side. We've got some dianthus and some impatiens because it is under this tree. And this is her fairy garden. So she worked on this and she got it all set up. I think it turned out really sweet. So she is enjoying it. This is her little spot. And it looks really good in this pot under this red maple, Japanese maple. So you'll have to leave comments below and tell us what you think about that. The rose bush is looking good. The white clematis is looking good. Here's where I planted all those poppies that I got from Gilbert H. Wild, so they're there. This is a group of poppies I bought off the clearance rack at Lowe's. So it just continues on. This is a Super Bells. It's a little, almost like a petunia, but it's a Super Bells, so it's in there. This is actually a winter holdover from last year. It was in a hanging basket and it never died over the winter. So I've put him in this pot, fertilized him up, and it's already flushed out. This is some blanket flower here. Some more lamb's ear. Our little pots we did the other day. The irises are all blooming, starting to look really pretty. The clematis has taken over the little fountain, but here, we'll sweep some stuff back so we can get a better view of her. This is our little cherub. This is a little pot. It's got just some few little things in it that I stuck up there, marigold and a few other little things. Because this is a very small pot, it dries out quickly. So I have to put stuff in here that likes it to be dry. So marigolds will do that. In this raised bed down here, I haven't planted any pumpkins or watermelons yet, but I have got peas going on the trellises, the 2 standard trellises. And then our trash to treasure trellis, I have moonflowers on that. So you can kind of see the moonflowers there, and it shouldn't be too much longer. They will take off and they should cover that trellis up. So that should be really pretty. Sedums, all sorts of stuff. My peony is fixing to bloom. This one always blooms second. The one over here always blooms first, and it is opening up. Another pot. There's my tin barn roof ceiling Arkansas sign cut out. This right here is a melon sage. So if you like any of the sages, I know pineapple sage is really popular. This is melon sage, so it's really close to it. Very sweet and melony, fragrance, really good. I love it. And I do typically plant pineapple sage. It hasn't rebounded back this year. I think it may have not survived the winter for some reason. But melon sage, and it will cover itself in these flowers. So this is the peony that's getting ready to put on its show. Bee balm, onion, purple clematis. This is a red twig dogwood, and I've got it underplanted with some coneflowers and sedum, and a sage of some kind. This is not a melon sage. I can't remember what sage that is. One of the other rose bushes. Got the patio all set up. The cushions are up because the rain's coming. They'll drain quicker if you do this. If you leave your cushions set up normal seating style, it takes forever for the water to drain out this way, where if you stand them up, it all falls to the bottom and drains out of a much smaller surface space. So that's why I do that. Here's our little fountain, a little fish pond. So things are looking really good back here. The impatiens are already growing that we planted, so they're looking good. That basket is there to protect that hosta and that hosta, because the dog decided this was his pathway and he kept trampling them down. So the basket will not stay there. It's literally just to let those hostas grow up. Some cabbages. And I still have it mulched, so you can see that. We still got to mulch. Guys, ignore the green pool. I'm so sorry. It's kind of embarrassing, but that's okay. This pot is looking good. I just love these. Got some stuff in this hanging basket. And that's pretty much it for right now, guys. Got this fountain put up. I don't know if I've showed you that yet or not, but this one's running. This is the hydrangea we pruned back in the winter. So you can see, like I said in that video, it's gonna be a lot of maintenance on my part. I've already come in here once this spring and pulled all this new growth out, pruned it all back, so that it's all flushed out again. So I've got to get in here again and get all this cleaned out. Here's our little wheelbarrow planter. I love that the hosta's poking out of it. I started mulching here and hadn't finished. But I've got impatiens in here. There's a pea. These are radishes. So the lettuce that I put in there, it didn't take. So I just went ahead and switched it over to impatiens. And this is where all the tomatoes and peppers are going, so they're not in there yet. I've got one Tabasco in there that's doing. Everything else kind of fizzled out that I put in there already. Here's my potting shed. Aren't these dianthus absolutely stunning? These dianthus plants have been in these pots this is their 3rd year. I put them in just as a filler with a geranium or something one year. And as you know, dianthus are perennial. And so the 2nd year it came back and I just let it go. And it kind of covered itself over the pot, started drooping down. And this year they have this one has completely covered this pot. This one has almost covered this pot. And they are just absolutely beautiful. The asparagus fern right here survived the winter. I did not touch them. They stayed here all winter long. I did prune them back, which is why they're a little gappy, but they're flushing back out as well. And then here's some more roses. So I hope you enjoyed that little garden tour. I think I'll title this video Garden Tour. That way people will know exactly what it is, and I'll just throw in the planting of that shade stuff just as a little bonus, since I think the tour will be most of what the video is. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe it inspired you. Sorry, there's a bug buzzing around me. I hope it inspired you to do something in your garden. I've got more to plant, guys. I've got more coming. There's more things to grow up and flush on. By the middle of the summer, my hope is that there won't be any dirt exposed out there. It'll just all be a beautiful border of plants all through there. Like I said, I've got squash plants to tuck in. I've got all sorts of stuff. I've got corn to plant. I've got okra to plant. I've got beans to plant. So there's going to be stuff tucking in everywhere amongst all the flowers and in the raised beds. And I'm hoping it's going to all work out and be super pretty. So this is going to kind of be your official beginning tour video to that. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you maybe. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. If you haven't hit that notification bell down there, go ahead and hit it. It'll tell you every time we post a new video here at Horticulture Geek. And that way you can join in on the fun and you won't miss anything that we post. I think that wraps it up. So until next time, YouTube, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.